It's 8 trivia questions on the hit CW show Supernatural, which has been on TV for, I think, 150 years. Let's jump into them. This is Trivia with Buds. What it be? And welcome to another episode of the Trivia with Buds podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Buds. Thanks for checking out the show and giving it a listen on this beautiful day. It is sunny. It is perfect temperature, and it is back to why I live in California. I love it so much, and I hope your weather is getting nicer wherever you listen to the show at, unless you listen in Antarctica. I'm sure I got a few listeners there, right? There's some archaeologists or something up there doing some kind of dig, and they're cold, but they're like, let's listen to something fun that we can play out loud together with in this freezing blizzard. And you put on the Trivia with Buds podcast, and shout out to you guys. Also, shout out to my friend R. Tatum85, who left a nice 5-star review. He said, love the podcast, or she. I'm not exactly sure who R. Tatum is. Love the podcast, 5 stars. Awesome to have a daily podcast. Ryan does a great job and usually keeps it short and sweet and doesn't ramble too much like other podcasts. Keep up the good work. Thanks, R. Tatum85. I hope you like the shout out on today's episode. If you want to get shout outs all the time, you can always join my Patreon page. That's the biggest, coolest way to support this show. We got a little army of 30 people, and that is growing rapidly. So if you want to throw a few bucks my way, I will throw a few rewards your way. I have a whole stack of Disney Pixar postcards here, and that's the $3 tier. So if you want one of those mailed to you, I don't even write on the postcard. I send you a postcard that you can then send to somebody else, or you could frame it or collect it or whatever you want to do. And I got Toy Story, I got Cars, I got Brave, I got Wall-E, all my Pixar favorites in this little stack. So that's one of the tiers. Check it out over on patreon.com/trivia with Buds. This week, there's not too many crazy things going on in my life except a few private parties, and as always, tons of bingo and trivia on the daily. And you can see all those trivia locations and bingo locations at triviawithbuds.com. Click on the locations tab, and you can see where you can play with me live all around town. Shout out to listener and Patreon subscriber Megan Acuna, who joined me last night for bingo at a place called Highbrow, which is a real divey bar in Upland, California. And we do bingo there on Mondays from 10:30 to 12:30. And it's usually the same group of people who like drinking and playing bingo on Monday nights. But Megan jumped in with all her friends and family and said, hey, I didn't even know you were going to be here. And I said, here's some bonus bingo cards for being a Patreon subscriber. So that's how it works. If I see you out in the field, I'm going to buy you drinks. I'm going to give you bonus stuff. I'm going to give you prizes out of the trunk of my car. It's a real treat, and you're going to love it. Speaking of treats, I have a very cool idea for something that dispenses treats, and that's all I'm going to say. But that will be in months to come, probably midsummer. I think I'm going to try a really cool idea that literally popped into my head yesterday, and I've been pitching it to people nonstop on the phone and to my friends, my family, anyone who will listen. And everybody's like, that's a pretty cool idea. And that's not always the case. Sometimes people go, yeah, but what about the whatever? But so far, no detractors yet. So I think I'm onto something. And you guys will be the first to know, the podcast listeners, because it is kind of podcast-y, nostalgia-y, pop culture-y related. So maybe you will actually be part of making this thing a thing. That's all I'm going to say for now, but I think it's going to be cool. All right, today's episode is about the TV show Supernatural, a show I've never seen one frame of, except maybe in a bar while hosting or something, and it was on with no sound. But I got 8 questions for you. This is from a website called usefultrivia.com, and I like the layout of this website. It's a very simple, nice website. I would like to recreate this website with my own trivia questions at some point and have this huge database that people can go to, and maybe I'll do that in the near future. Get some more hits on the old website by having a bunch of trivia questions people can pull from. But we're going to jump into 8 questions on Supernatural trivia in just a second. This was picked by another Patreon subscriber named Sarah Guest. And maybe Sarah will be a guest on the podcast over the phone in the near future. We're going to jump into those Supernatural questions right now. Here we go. Here we go with some supernatural trivia questions. These are all going to be multiple choice. We'll see how you do on this quiz. Number 1 for supernatural, what language do the angels on Supernatural speak? Do they speak Dothraki, Furbish, Na'vi, or Enochian? Again, those choices, what are the languages that what is the language that the angels on Supernatural speak? Is it Dothraki, Furbish, Na'vi, or Enochian? Question number 2, what is Crowley's nickname for Sam Winchester? Is it Batman, Moose, Squirrel, or Thumper? Number 2, what is Crowley's nickname for Sam Winchester? Is it Batman, Moose, Squirrel, or Thumper? Question number 3, what 80s rock star is possessed by Lucifer in Season 12 of Supernatural? Is that Ozzy Osbourne, Rick Springfield, John Bon Jovi, or Madonna? Oh man, I hope it's all of them. Those are great choices. Is it Ozzy, Rick Springfield, John Bon Jovi, or Madonna? Question number 4, who are Sam and Dean's parents? Is it Bobby and Ellen Winchester, John and Mary Winchester, Samuel and Deanna Winchester, or Jerry and Ann Winchester? Bob and Ellen, John and Mary, Sam and Deanna, or Jerry and Ann? Who are Sam and Dean's parents? Question number 5, what was the title of the show originally going to be? Was it Brothers Grimm, The Winchesters, Hunters, or Unnatural? Brothers Grimm, The Winchesters, Hunters, or Unnatural? Question number 6, what angel wrote the Word of God tablets? Is that Optimus Prime, Balthazar, Samandriel, or Metatron? Number 6, what angel wrote the Word of God's tablets? Is that Optimus Prime, Balthazar, Samandriel, or Metatron? Question number 7, what hunter married a werewolf named Bess? Is that Rufus Turner, Garth Fitzgerald IV, Benny Lafitte, or Gordon Walker? Who married a werewolf named Bess? Rufus, Garth, Benny, or Gordon? And question number 8, in Scooby Natural, Season 13, Episode 16, who makes out with Velma? Is it Charlie, Sam, Dean, or Castile? Number 8, in Scooby Natural, Season 13, Episode 16, who makes out with Velma? Is it Charlie, Sam, Dean, or Castile? All right, my neighbor has started a motorcycle, which means that's the end of the questions, and we're going to jump into the answers as soon as he turns it off. All right, the motorcycle has left my block, and we're back with the answers to Supernatural trivia. Question number 1, what language do the angels in Supernatural speak? You could have said Dothraki, Furbish, Na'vi, or Enochian. The angels in Supernatural speak Enochian, but to most humans, it just sounds like a very high-pitched shriek. Now, like I mentioned in the intro, I've never seen this show, but it does make me kind of want to watch it because I liked Buffy back in the day and a little bit of Angel, and I feel like this is kind of in the same wheelhouse, right? I got to watch this, although you got to dedicate like 2 full weeks of your life to watch all the episodes, and I don't know if I can do that, but one of these days I'll watch at least a season. And Riverdale, I want to watch Riverdale because I was a huge Archie fan as a kid, and I don't know, show looked pretty cool. Number 2, what is Crowley's nickname for Sam Winchester? Was it Batman, Moose, Squirrel, or Thumper? Crowley often calls Sam Moose and Dean Squirrel. Moose and Squirrel, I imagine a Rocky and Bullwinkle reference. Number 3, what 80s rock star is possessed by Lucifer in Season 12 of Supernatural? Man, I wish it was John Bon Jovi. He was in a movie called Vampires Los Muertos, so I could see him doing something like this, but it was actually Rick Springfield in Mamma Mia, Season 12, Episode 12. Lucifer takes over the body of washed-up rock star Vince Vincente, played by Rick Springfield. They probably could have just named him Rick Springfield. Number 4, who are Sam and Dean's parents? Bobby and Ellen Winchester, John and Mary, Sam and Deanna, or Jerry and Ann? The answers were John and Mary Winchester. After Mary was killed by the demon Azazel, John Winchester became a hunter and raised his 2 sons to fight the supernatural. Number 5, what was the title of the show originally going to be? Unnatural was the answer. So I had the choices of Brothers Grimm, Winchesters, Hunters, and Unnatural. Originally, the show was going to be called Unnatural, and it was about a reporter going around researching urban legends and writing about them in his column. It had nothing to do with the Winchester brothers. Okay, that's interesting. Number 6, what angel wrote the Word of God tablets? Was that Optimus Prime? Probably not. Balthazar, Simandriel, or Metatron? The answer was Metatron, who wrote those Word of God tablets. According to the Demon Tablet, he is an archangel, but Metatron himself claims to be an angel from the Secretarial Division. Number 7, 2 more to go. What hunter married a werewolf named Bess? That was Garth Fitzgerald IV. After being turned into a werewolf, he joins a pack of werewolves that peacefully coexist with humans mostly, and married one named Bess. And number 8 in Scooby Natural, Season 13, Episode 16, who makes out with Velma? It was Sam. It says Dean spends the whole episode chasing after Daphne, but it is Sam who finally locks lips with Velma. And not seeing this episode, I'm wondering, are these characters with just names of the Scooby characters, or is it some sort of Scooby crossover? I would love to see it. Maybe I should start with this episode from season 13. All right, guys, those are your 8 questions for Supernatural trivia. I hope you had fun playing along if you're a fan of this show, or maybe if you're not a fan of the show, you want to start watching it like I do. If you're a fan of this podcast, hit subscribe on your device and you'll get new episodes every single day. If this is the first episode you've ever listened to, maybe you searched Supernatural Trivia and this popped up and you're listening to it and you're like, hey, this was pretty cool. You can go back and check out 400 other episodes in our feed. And earlier this week, we did one called Best Picture Oscar Winners. We did 25 questions on green things for St. Patrick's Day. The day after St. Patrick's Day, we did 5 questions on famous Patricks. And we have a huge, huge library of topics we've done. Anything you can think of, we've probably done it or will do it in the near future. If you want to support the show, again, always go to patreon.com/trivia with buds to see all the cool goodies you can get. The Ren and Stimpy offer still going till March 31st. If you like Funko Pop collectibles, check out our Dorbs set. You can see a video of me pimping it out over on Ryan Buds on Instagram. Follow me for updates and videos and pictures of fun pop culture stuff there. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thanks for telling a friend, and we'll see you tomorrow for more Trivia with Buds. Cheers.